to the Library Connection. I'm Tracy Thomas, Director at the B.B. Comer Library, and I want to thank you so much for joining us today. You know, each week we love to bring you information about things that are going on at the library, programs and services, but one of the things that we really love is also connecting you to events and things that are happening in our community. We love our community partners, and we're just happy to be a part of that picture. So I also want to thank, before we get started today, thank you so much to TV47 for always giving us this opportunity to come to you each week. We appreciate this more than we can ever say. So this morning I want to introduce our guests, and so this morning we have Miss Marie Pipkin with us, and we have Miss Suzanne Hughes Scivley with us. So thank you so much for being with us. They are involved with the program through the First Methodist Church here in Sylacauga, and two different programs actually. And this morning we're going to talk about both of those programs. But before we get started, thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And we're glad we're filming indoors and not outside.
Yes, for sure.
So again, we love our community partners, and we have for years done story time programs and things with First Methodist, and always had a good connection with them, with that church. And so you have got a couple of programs going on. Mm-hmm. It's two independent programs, and we're going to talk about both of those today. So, Miss Marie, you've got one called Messy Church.
I do. Mm-hmm. And it's really not my baby. It is a national and international program that we are starting at First United Methodist that has to do with worship and family. We received a grant to develop more family-centered programs, and that's what we've been doing. And everybody always asks me, what is Messy Church? Mm-hmm. And it is so difficult to explain. It's a lot of fun, and we all kind of have messy lives. You know, things don't always go the way we want to, and weather doesn't always go the way we want to. So we have to deal with that, and sometimes it's nice to have a community to deal with that. And so that's what we've been working on, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the program as we go along.
Certainly. When I first heard the name, I thought, okay, is messy a metaphor, or is it actually we're going to have messy activities, or is it a metaphor for our lives? So I wondered that as
Everything.
well.
All of
yes,
that.
and yes.
Yeah, correct.
Well, so your programs happen at two separate times. So, and we're going to talk about Miss Suzanne's program in just a minute. Tell us when your program takes place.
We will try to do one every month, and usually on the second Wednesday of each month. Okay. And it starts at 5:30. We have a registration and a welcome at 5:30. And then this time in February, we're going to have a little snack. Mm-hmm. So the kids will go and have a little snack, and the parents will have a cup of coffee if they would like, and just kind of a welcoming time. Then we'll go into the fellowship hall, and there are activities, and usually around a certain theme. The theme this month, for the month of February, is Paul's discipleship and how he chose to follow Jesus and what Jesus asked of him as well. So it's been real exciting dealing with the curriculum. It is I'm going to hold up this little book because I think it has programs in it. We have connection with over 200 churches in the United States. So it's all denominations, several different denominations, but they're all Christ-centered programs. They all have creativity. They all have fellowship. They all have a welcoming hospitality. There's so many things to bring into what we do with the program. After we do our activities, we have a celebration that includes song and storytelling. We have our Bible verse that we have it all centered around. And then we have a blessing for a meal, and we all enjoy a meal together because we all know United Methodists like to eat. So we have our meal, and we try to wrap up everything by about 7 o'clock.
I know you said that you have a time of registration. Mm-hmm. With this program, is this something that people need to call ahead of time and register, or can they just show up that night?
Well, you have to remember, it's messy. So they don't have to call ahead, but they can call and ask certain questions. My email is out there if they're interested in learning more about it. I have a lot of material. Several of us went to 3 days of training for Messy Church. And we are sustaining members so that we can use some of the promotional materials that they have. And I like it because I'm very structured, and it helps me stay on track as well. But it's not just me. We have volunteers. The last Messy Church, we had 45 people, which is a lot for a first time. That was our very first time. And people really didn't know what to expect. People kept asking me, well, what's it all about? It is church, but not like you know it. So we don't have a lot of strict type rules, and we go with the flow. Isn't that nice? Don't we have to do that every day?
All the time.
Yeah. So I guess it's structured, but not.
Now, when the kids go in for the activities, do the parents join them there?
Yes.
Okay, so the parents come in, they participate, it's kind of intergenerational.
Definitely intergenerational. In fact, if they're younger kids, it's nice to have the parents there. Sometimes parents need a little alone time, so we do have volunteers at every activity table and every activity, so that if the parents want to sit in the corner and have their coffee and talk, they can do that. Or they can help their child, another person's child. I was so surprised how adults just stepped in to help children where they were. And I think that's the important thing, is helping the children and helping the family. We help the families where they are as well.
One of the things that we have seen through the library, especially through some of the sensory playtime that we have, one of the things that we have seen is that the parents really do kind of like that time for you to show them how to interact with their kids, because parents know how to interact with their kids, but some need that little extra boost to be comfortable with it. So to have the activities and to include the parents, I think that's wonderful, because it's modeling those things for the parents so they can carry that into the home as well. So it's educational as well as entertaining.
Exactly. Well, I'm a former school librarian. So I've seen libraries change, and more hands-on is definitely where it is.
Absolutely.
And the storytelling, we've always had storytelling in libraries, so I love that aspect of it. We get our youth involved. In fact, we have one young lady that is a wonderful storyteller, and she can ad-lib, which I think that's a good thing to have. Yeah, it is definitely a gift, I think.
The flexibility is wonderful.
And I love the youth. I love the children, because you never know what to expect. And the adults, you're right, they do look on and see, I can do that. And we have little crafts, but we have games and things like that. So it's a little bit of everything.
So you've got one program under your belt. You've had one. Okay.
Yes.
So you're ready to go for number 2?
I think so. I think so. We've got a lot to fit in, because we have Lent coming up and Easter, and all the preparation that goes into that. And I think you want your programs to be cohesive.
Yes.
I know Suzanne and I share the same children. So they'll go to her. I think you're still meeting on Wednesdays, aren't you?
Yes.
And then they come on up to us and have their snack and their fun time and running around time, and then their meal. And the parents have loved it. And we've had adults there without children. They just come. It's just a little bit more laid back. It is a service, but it is laid back.
And when is the next one? Tell us the February date again.
February 7th at 5:30.
Okay.
It's a Wednesday.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more about Messy Church, but also about Miss Suzanne's sewing program as well.
The Maxie Veazey Senior Adult Activity Center offers the senior citizens in the Sylacauga and surrounding areas lots of fantastic activities throughout the week. Sewing, ladies bridge, quilting, game-orama, ceramic classes, bingo, travel club, and lots more. It's all at the Maxie Veazey Senior Adult Activity Center located next to the J. Craig Smith Community Center in Sylacauga. Don't spend any more time alone. Get out, make new friends, and have fun.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
The all-new Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our remodeled and expanded pharmacy gives us the space to serve more patients. We've added a drive-through window for those times when you don't feel like getting out of your vehicle. And we still offer delivery within city limits. We feature a full line of over-the-counter medications and supplements. And don't forget our stunning new gift department. New building, same great people. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm Tracy Thomas, Director at the Comer Library, and today we've been talking with Miss Marie Pipkin, and she's been telling us about a program that they have going on at the First Methodist Church, and that is called Messy Church, and we've just heard about that program, but they also have another great program that they're doing now, and so we have Miss Suzanne Hughes Scivley, and she is working with the Sassy Sewing Circle.
That's right.
And so I love the name. I love the name. And so these two programs are two separate programs, so we want to make that clear, but we want to hear about both of them because I think it's two great new initiatives that you're getting going through the church. And I couldn't help but laugh when I was thinking about the sewing because my grandmother, when she passed away, she left me her sewing machine. I have no idea what to do with it, and it has moved to every room in my house. It's in a great cabinet. The cabinet is great for displaying things, but I have no idea what to do with the sewing machine. So we decided one day we'll get on YouTube and we'll figure out how to thread the needle and we'll figure out how to do some things. Well, it didn't help. So I think even though we have such great technology that you can hop online and look at a video, I still think it is a wonderful thing to have an in-person teacher. So we want to thank you for doing this and tell us about your program.
Well, my program is for people who have no idea what they're doing. So you can come join us and you will fit right in. I am strictly a hobby sewer. My grandmother taught me to sew Barbie clothes starting when I was about 6 years old, and now I use her sewing machine all the time. But the idea at First Methodist Church is to take our wealth of space and use it for different things. Our Messy Church is up in the fellowship hall area, and we had an unused Sunday school room downstairs on the main hall. So some friends came and helped me just basically pull everything out of it and put in it what we wanted so that we'd have a space where we can do creative things. And you'll see in front of me a few quilts. Yes. And this is just a feast for the eyes. And if you walk into our sewing room at First Methodist, you will have a feast for the eyes. There's all kinds of color and materials, fabrics, knitting supplies, crochet supplies. We have supplies for all kinds of needle arts. One of the things we'll include eventually is needlepoint.
Love that.
Whatever. Well, the idea is to bring like-minded people together, to have fellowship and fun. And my thing is the quilting. My grandmother was a quilter. The other grandmother, not the one who taught me Barbie clothes, she built clothes. My other grandmother built quilts, and I have always wanted to learn to quilt. So when I retired from teaching, I started that journey. So that was.
So how long have you had this program in place?
It is brand new. We didn't launch until November.
Okay.
And the first thing we did was a children's class. I have 7 young ladies between the ages of 8.5 and 15. Who come on Wednesdays between 4 and 5:15, and we started with quilting. And what I'm doing is teaching them how to sew straight lines, because if you can sew a straight line on a machine, you can piece a quilt.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. Are they using machines or are they
Yes.
hand sewing?
Well, we are piecing on machines, and I have 6 machines in the room. A couple are donated by church members, a couple are extras that I had at home, older machines, and then my friend Tiffany Steers found some machines for me, and her friend Melissa, and they are just keeping me in machines.
That's wonderful.
So we have 6 machines in the room. Oh, and Gary brought his machine. So we have 7. We do have one gentleman who sews with us, yes.
Wonderful.
Which is great. So we are not strictly a women's ministry. We are not.
So are these some of the projects that some of your students have completed, or are these just some examples of
These
what
are
the kinds of things
examples.
they'll be working on?
These are examples.
Wonderful.
These are your traditional bed quilts that our grandmothers made. This one down here is actually a stadium quilt that I made for my mother. And this one is all machine done. It's machine pieced and machine quilted. All right, and this one was all hand done in the Ukraine.
Okay.
And this one is an art piece that hangs on the wall of my house.
Do you have any of the big frames that hang from the ceiling the way you used to see when they used to quilt?
This morning I was actually thinking, I wonder if someone could build us a frame that we drop from the ceiling like my grandmother had. I do have a floor hand quilting frame that we can use, and we can sit around it in a small group. So right now the kids are piecing quilt blocks, and we're putting together our first 2 crib quilts. And what we want to do is do all these projects and then have a bazaar. I'm not charging any money for these children to sew, ever, ever, ever. We have supplies that have been donated, and I will never ask them for a dime. I just want them to come and have fun.
That's what I was about to ask. I know that you received a grant from Messy Church. That's what I was about to ask, funding for this. It's just through donations.
Yes, 3 donations, and you would not believe how many supplies we have in that room. I'm swimming through fabric, and we had a wonderful local lady message me and tell me that her mother had passed, and she was an avid knitter. She brought me 100 skeins of yarn and a giant bag of knitting needles, all kinds. And we have a crochet teacher already.
Wonderful.
I don't know if you know Linda Godfrey. She's local. And Linda is my partner in crime. And Johnny Tankersley. Johnny has been with me from the beginning with all of this because she knows everything and she knows everybody.
She does. So if somebody watching has something that they want to donate, are you good right now, or would you still like to have?
I'll never turn down anything good. We've got a lot of room. I'll find a place to put it.
I think it's wonderful that you've taken some spaces and repurposed some spaces for such a good, meaningful project. I know that you two have a friendship that goes back, that kind of dovetails these 2 projects together for you. It's a good opportunity for you to get to work together. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more about that.
Great.
There's a lot in life to smile about. Are loose dentures or missing teeth keeping you from enjoying the things you love? Don't miss out on enjoying life's precious moments. You can be you again with affordable mini dental implants. You can smile again, laugh out loud, and have your self-confidence back. Let us help you make it memorable.
I'm Dr. Rick Redmond. Call me today for a free consultation and give me the opportunity to change your life.
Great. What am I going to do now?
Time to visit Brown's Auto Collision.
No problem at all. We've contacted your insurance company and we can get you back into original condition right away. And I just want to remind you that all of our work is covered by a lifetime warranty. We're done.
Wow, that was easy and looks great.
Brown's Auto Collision,
where quality is no accident.
The all-new Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our remodeled and expanded pharmacy gives us the space to serve more patients. We've added a drive-through window for those times when you don't feel like getting out of your vehicle. And we still offer delivery within city limits. We feature a full line of over-the-counter medications and supplements. And don't forget our stunning new gift department. New building, same great people. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm Tracy Thomas, Director at the Comer Library, And this morning we've been talking to a couple of wonderful guests. We have Miss Marie Pipkin, and she is talking about Messy Church. And then we also have Miss Suzanne Scivley, and she is talking about the Sassy Sewing Circle. And so these are two great new programs that have been launched at the First Methodist Church. But anybody can come. This is not a denominational thing. It's not for just members. This is a repurposing of the church space and offering something that the whole community can participate in.
Right.
And I think that this is a wonderful thing to do, especially since we have space and we have room to do things. I think that's fantastic. Now, I know we already got the date. Tell us again the date for the next Messy Church, because it's once a month.
Once a month, February 7th, 5:30, Fellowship Hall at First United Methodist.
Okay.
Right.
And then the Sewing Circle.
Yes, the Sassy Sewing Circle meets in room 105, which is on the main hall with the office. And on Wednesday afternoons from 4 to 5:15, we have our kids stitchers, but I do need an email if you're bringing a child.
Okay.
So I can make sure I've got enough stuff.
Okay.
And remember, it's free for the kids always. And on tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we're having a sit and sew where folks from the neighborhood and all around, I've got one coming from Thorsby, I think, or Jemison or somewhere, are going to come and just sit and bring projects and work and chat and drink coffee and have a good time. That's a sit and sew. I'm trying to do right now 2 of those on mornings during the month and 2 during evenings for people who work. So I'll have my schedule out for February on the Facebook page for the church.
Good. Okay. So that's a good method of looking for information is on the Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know that your two programs are two independent programs of each other, but you two have known each other for a long time. So, Miss Marie, we've known you through the library world for years before you moved to Sylacauga. But tell us about how you ended up in Sylacauga, because you were not from here. You are now.
I am now. We've been here 14 years, and my husband is an avid fisherman. I mean, that's number one right there. If you don't know anything, you don't remember anything about me, you'll know that my husband is a fisherman. And where do you go when you want to fish? Lay Lake. So we ended up in Lay Lake after looking all over the place, and we built a house there in a new community, and we just fell in love with it. It's natural out there. We get a beautiful view of the lake, and my husband can go fishing anytime he wants to, on the dock or in the boat.
Well, I think one of the things that we love so much is the fact when you moved to Sylacauga, you jumped right into community life. You didn't stay away and try to, you jumped right in and became part of the community. And we're so appreciative of all the things that you have done and worked with, because you've helped us at the library with some computer training, computer classes for people who may not be as comfortable with computers as others. And I know that's one of the things that you did when you were at Hoover High School. You were the school librarian, and I know you were there when computers and technology first hit.
First started.
So it's something you're very comfortable with.
Yes, yes.
So, Miss Suzanne, tell us how you got here.
Well, my husband and I both grew up in Jefferson County in the Hoover area. I started in Fairfield. We migrated to Hoover. But we wanted to retire somewhere where he could be out in nature. He's a hunter. He hasn't hunted in a while, but he's a deer hunter, and he's not a fisherman, but we landed at the lake. We decided that we would try to go somewhere where it would be a draw for future grandkids, and the lake is definitely a draw. We love it down here. We were looking for a place. We looked at every lake in the top half of Alabama, and our brother-in-law told us, hey, lay doesn't change up and down. And I talked to Marie because I knew she was building a house down here, and Marvin found us a lot in their
was
neighborhood.
This about the same time?
No, it was after.
Okay.
After. So they had been down here several years, but we'd been looking for a long time. But so Marvin found us a lot. We bought the lot. We built the house. We moved in January of 2018. And Anne Marie and her small group at First United Methodist Church swallowed us whole immediately. Johnny Tankersley jumped in and said, "You're coming to supper with us." And I said, "Okay." And we did. So we've been involved with the church ever since we got here.
Sounds like you found a wonderful group of friends.
Oh, we did. We did.
So you're going to work on this project together. Do you have any other things you're going to work on together? Because I know, Miss Anne Marie, you have a book club as well.
Yes, yes, we do.
I believe I'm hosting in February. Yes, at my house.
Yes. We live in the same neighborhood, and we've been friends for over 30 years. Is that
Since
what we
88.
decided?
Since
1988.
Teaching at Hoover.
And we were colleagues, and now we're neighbors.
Right.
And it's been wonderful, but we do a lot of things together, but we do different things as well.
We do. Yep.
I'll go with her when she's looking all over several states for a quilting machine.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Jump in the car, and of course, it was messy.
That was very messy.
It was messy. Of course, we had to go down 65, so we got off 65 and roamed around the countryside.
We did.
And called people.
She's a good sport. We just call people and say, can we come look at your quilts? And we'd be in someone's basement in 15 minutes. So we did do that one time on a road trip.
We have a very good time. We do have a book club, and I am involved in several book clubs. But that was the one way that I wanted to connect with people, because I love books, I love reading, and we get more and more people. It's a very large book club. We'll have probably 15 to 18 people
that come probably 25 on the roster.
Oh yes, definitely 25, and there are people that still want to know our list, because we get our list first thing in June. Don't we start it in June? And that's how we're connected by, our moms don't know each other, but we've known each other for a long time.
Right. I think it's wonderful the way that you've both embraced change, not just moving to a new community, but you've seen changes in education, you've seen changes through your church, you've seen, the change of moving to a new community, and you still are working, trying to find ways to bring people together. I think that's wonderful. And I think that I think after COVID, I think people were so isolated and so alone for so long. I think programs like this that bring people out, they encourage them to be with other people, it encourages parents to be with their children. And I think the older people get, for me, myself, I love to learn something new. I think it's a great program, both of them, that you have going. I do. So tell us about the Ladies of the Lake Book Club quickly. What are they reading this month before we go?
We're reading The Other Einstein, and I read it a while back. I loved it. And I'm not going to be able to go because of this crazy weather. I've had to reschedule doctor's appointments. When you get old, the doctor's appointments sort of take, front stage.
Thank you both so much, Miss Anne Marie, Miss Suzanne. We're looking forward to hearing about the success of your programs. Again, thank you for what you're doing in the community. And if you have questions, look up their Facebook page, or you can call the library and we'll be glad to connect you with them. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next Library Connection.